Good morning. Welcome to Doga with Kimberly and Mookie. This is episode 5, and today we're actually going to be doing a little down dog, which is one of the most popular poses that I feel like the whole Doga world is known for, because dogs do it so well first thing in the morning, throughout the day, when they nap, etc. Mookie, are you being shy? So he's turning away. He's actually very excited. He's just trying to contain himself. Right, sweet pea? So today what we're going to be doing, right, Mook, is a little bit of some more, not seated poses, but kind of beginning to rise up a little bit off the mat. And so I wanted to show you basically just a few pieces of a sun salutation. And a sun salutation is a 12-step movement that walks you through all the muscles of the body. And it's a wonderful way to greet the sun, greet the day, or even end the day, or even in between throughout the day. Whenever you can, take a moment for yourself. So as always, I like to just give a little debrief on what Doga is and what it isn't. Doga is not, at least with my dog and many dogs, the ability to call out a pose and have them do it on command. As we know, some dogs don't even like to come on command, so they probably are not going to pose. So what it is really is an opportunity to connect with your pup and to spend a little time having that sort of connection that helps to build trust and also really just deepen your relationship. So there are a few tools I like to encourage. One is a yoga mat. It's really not necessary, but it is helpful. So if you have a yoga mat, go ahead and roll that out. I also like to have a block or some sort of prop nearby. This just helps to elevate the hips in certain poses. Some people find a couple of these actually to be helpful. This is a cork block. They also come in foam. And then of course I like to have a candle and lavender oil, which is nice for relaxation. So I'll roll it on my wrists, behind my ears, and then see if Mookie would like a little dose. So he'll usually smell it and then be done with it. But it's great because it is a nice kind of calming effect. And then it's also good to have a libation nearby. So I've got green tea to start my day. So whatever your preference is, go ahead and grab that so that you're all set up for our time together. And then to begin, we're going to start by getting centered. So centering is where it can be handy to have a block because that helps to bring you to a comfortable seat in case you're not comfortable sitting on the floor. Know also that you couch if you'd like. So, whatever would feel best for you, know that those are always options. I'm pointing to the side. You probably can't see it, but there's a couch there. So for some people, being elevated is going to feel better for the hips. So know that's an option for you. So what I'm going to do is just come to a comfortable cross-legged seat, hands on thighs. And I like to have one hand on my dog Mookie. So if you have a couple dogs, you could have hands there. And then taking a moment to close your eyes. Your dog will probably have theirs closed as this may be morning nap time. And take a few deep breaths. So inhaling through the nose, filling the belly, the ribs, and then the chest with air. And exhaling and releasing the chest, ribs, and belly. And taking a moment here to create an intention for your practice today. What is it you'd like to gain? What is it you'd like to let go of? Or if it resonates, maybe even honoring someone through the effort you put forth in your practice. That could be one of your beloved four-legged friends. It could be someone in your life you know is suffering at the moment. So bringing someone to mind and letting the fruits of your practice benefit them. Or you can think of it as a way to honor them. And take a few more deep breaths in and out of the nose. Again, keeping the connection to your dog if possible. So I'm just massaging his upper arms down towards the pads of his hands, his paws. And then around his neck. And take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. And let the eyes flutter open. Great, so again, welcome back to Doga. So to begin, I'm going to lure Mookie in. Last time he was grooming himself throughout the entire practice. Today he's clearly decided it is nap time, right? Because we just got back from a walk a little bit ago. I'm just going to slide him right on in. And then I'm going to come again to a seated position. What I've got though is my feet together, soles of the feet together, knees open. And then hands on knees. So I'm just going to have one hand on my knee so that I can have one hand on him. Going to move the torso into a circle. And if it feels better for you, you can do this cross-legged. You can actually, again, do this in a chair. That's a great one to do during the office days. So sitting in your chair. And then just moving the torso in a circle. Again, staying connected. So his eyes are open. He's still somewhat with me. And then moving the torso in a circle. So what you're doing here is you're getting a forward fold, a side bend, a twist, and a back bend. So lots going on, even though it's like I'm just swirling. So noticing the sensations in the body. As you move, and you may find like, this feels a little tight or this feels a little snug. Breathing into that as you move. And the breath is in and out of the nose. Unless, of course, you're having a lot of allergies or have a summer cold or congested, then, of course, breathe in any way you can. And then we're going to move the circle in the opposite direction. So now I'm going to move my massaging down towards his lower body into his legs and right above the tail, which as you see, it's like a superpower. Always gets him engaged. And then again, moving slowly. And if it helps, just kind of pausing in an area that feels good, just to kind of work into the space right above the hips. And then come back to the center. So just noticing what we've done here is basically this is a back bend, or this is a forward fold. This is a back bend. This is a side, side, and a twist, twist. So as you're doing this movement, you're kind of getting all those movements, which are called the 6 movements of the spine on, which is really nice for you. And again, this allows you to have a little bit of connection time with your pup. So from here, we're going to transition into table pose. All right, Mookie. So for table pose, you're going to come up and over onto hands and knees. Now, if he was feeling, oh, do you want to come over here? Participatory. He would come here and lie down. Do you want to lie down? Yes. And it is funny how dogs and cats and kids, they just seem to be really drawn to the yoga mat, not recognizing that this is your practice. They like to come right on over. So this is kind of his norm. What I'm going to do is come up into table pose. So table pose is on hands and knees. And then again here, can stay connected to him. He may rest or wonder what in the world I'm doing. And then you're going to exhale, curve the spine like a Halloween cat, and drop the chin into the chest. And then inhale, drop the heart center, and lift the gaze. And then again, exhale and curve. And then inhale and lift. And a couple more on your own. Exhale, curve. And inhale, drop through the heart. Nice, and then come back to a neutral spine. So as you see, that's just a little bit more movement of the spine, undulating the spine. And then we're going to step forward with the left foot. So you got to work around your dog. So you may have a much larger dog. You have to do some working around. We're going to come into a lunge with the back knee dropped. So I like to have a little cushion underneath my back knee. So I'm going to double fold my mat lengthwise so I don't have to do a lot of rearranging. Just bring it right on over. Again, dogs will probably stay right there, or they may spread out, or they may decide they're ready for the couch. So we'll see what transpires. And we want to have the knee over the ankle, hips moving forward. So if you have two blocks, this is where they may come in handy. And what that does is it just allows your arms to get a little longer without them actually getting longer. So also think of moving the hips forward and down. You can rest hands on the hips. You can rest hands on that front knee. Or you can bring hands to the inside of that left foot. And then again here, you're able to do a little kind of scratching through the back of the ears or the neck. And again, just kind of connecting with the dog as he rests. He's not doing much right now. He's not really getting his Doga on at the moment, but he is getting a nice little massage while you get your yoga on. And then from here, we're going to pull the hips back and straighten the front leg. Flex the front foot, which means you bring the toes back to the body. Again here, if you have blocks and you need a little extra height, that's where they come in handy. And we're breathing here. This is called half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. So I like to lift to my fingertips, gives me a little more space. So lifting and then exhaling, folding. Again, inhale, lifting. Exhaling, folding. Hey, Mookie. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And then once more, inhale, lift. And exhale, fold. And then let's roll back up. I'm going to draw that knee in. So your choice, you can come back to your table pose. Again, that's hands and knees. Nothing terribly fancy. It can be a nice kind of neutralizing pose. Or you can rest in child's. Now for child's, you drop your hips onto your heels. Arms reach forward. And again, here you can drop to forearms. Give your pup a scratch. And that's just to take a breather between the two sides. Yes, you like that. And then we'll come back up. Good job, Mookie. You're doing great. Do you want to sit down? We're going to do the other side. He's like, whatever. All right, so here I'm going to step my right foot forward. And again, having blocks if that's helpful. Hips come forward. Again, your pup may want to stay lifted. He may want to relax down. Again, it is Mookie's nap time. And then hips come forward. Again, you may notice one side's usually quite different than the other. If you want that little extra cushion, which I love, double fold your mat lengthwise. And then you're just going to pull the mat over slightly, getting a little extra cushion under that back knee. So that can feel really nice. Or, of course, you can use a blanket. But that way you don't have to go grab something. So again, hips forward. And I like to bring my arms to the inside, which is called lizard pose then. And it also allows to do a little connection with the pup as you are in your pose. Right, Mookie? So hips forward. You can even bring one hand onto that knee, resting here. Just listening to your body. So notice, how do those hips feel? Is this too intense? If so, back off some. If it feels good, hips forward, and then they drop down. But again, remember, we never want pain. We definitely want sensation, but no pain. So you check in with your body, noticing what feels best. And this is just called a deep lunge. But when both hands are to the inside, which I was showing earlier, then it's lizard. You can even come down onto your forearms if your dog isn't in your way. So then I'm going to pull back up, and we're going to come into our half split pose. So we did this on the other side. You're going to flex that right foot. Pull the toes back towards your body. See if you can keep those hips somewhat above that left knee. And then hands onto the floor. Again, using a block, 2 blocks if it helps, and even if you need more height, the great thing is you can turn the block up. So inhale, lengthen. We're going to do 4 breaths. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And last time, inhale, lengthen. Probably feeling a lot of this right here along the backs of the legs. Exhale and fold. Nice, and then we're going to lift back up. So I'm just going to slide that foot in. And here you can come once again into your table pose, which is again hands and knees. And maybe doing a few cat and cow poses if that feels good. Or go ahead and release down into your child's pose. Just taking a breather there. Again, little connection here. Just checking in with your pup. Little scratch around the ears, or kind of noticing what their sweet spots are. He loves right above his tail. And then we're going to come right back up. So I'm going to come up and sit on my heels before we take our finale pose, which is down dog. So many of you probably know down dog. You've probably seen it in many advertisements, or at least heard of it, and you've definitely seen your dog do it. Downward facing dog is like the pose that is, I think, probably one of the most known yoga poses. Now, Mookie never does it on command. Like I said, he barely comes on command. However, he can rest while I get my down dog on. All right, so for down dog, you're going to come into table pose, just as we did earlier. So it's a pose you know and hopefully love, maybe tolerate. And then, so, hi, Mookie, yes. And so I'm going to bring hands under shoulders, bring my knees a couple of inches behind my hips, spread fingers wide, curl the toes under, and pull those hips up and back. And here we are, downward facing dog. So it's basically an inverted V. So if you find yourself more here, rounded, bend your knees, pull your hips back, drop your chest onto your thighs, and then maybe straighten your legs or not. You can keep the knees bent. So again, here you may have a dog under you. This is often what happens. They end up right under the body in down dog. You can bend your knees, shake your hips, yes and no, shake your head, yes and no. And you can feel this is a lot of weight and support you're putting your body through, right? You're holding all of your body weight. Deep breath. And then as you need to, go ahead and rest in your table pose. You can also rest in your child's pose. And then we'll try that once more. See if Mookie will be any more enthusiastic. So again here, knees a little behind the hips, curl those toes under, pull your hips back and up. So think of hands on your hips, pulling them back, and maybe dropping through those heels. The body, as you can see, makes an inverted V, so rather than a U. So again, if it helps, bend knees, chest to thighs, and then maybe straighten those legs. Breathing here, checking in with your pup. Mine's in nap time. And then drop those knees. And then you can drop down onto your heels. I'm going to use a block and place a block right between my heels for my hips. And then scooch in a little bit closer to my pup. And bring hands wherever I can reach him. See if I can draw him in some. Hey, Mookie. He's like, I am so tired. This Doga stuff is exhausting. Right? So I'm just going to scoot in a little bit closer. So for our final pose, which is really just a way to reconnect, kind of ground the energy, because you did a deep lunge, you did half splits, you did, of course, the body swirls, and you did down dog, which to me is like, it's not considered the king pose, but it's one of those that you can really feel the heart rate go up. It's considered an inversion too because your heart is above your head in that pose. So it's considered really good for the body too to kind of shake things up. So now we're going to come to a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. And I'm just going to draw him in a little closer. And then sitting up nice and tall. And again, if you'd like, you can close your eyes, or you can keep the gaze down and soft, or if your pup will look at you and isn't napping, maybe looking at your pup. And I like to bring hand kind of towards his heart center, and maybe one hand onto mine. And just taking a few deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Let's take 2 more together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And last time, inhale. Hold the breath. And exhale. So allowing yourself the opportunity to kind of return to your day. You've taken 20 minutes to spend time with your pup, to spend time with your body, to spend time with your breath. And so from here, it's important, you may notice that you find hair all over yourself as I'm pulling it out of my mouth. You may find that it can take a little bit to transition, right? Because you've just had this grounding experience. And so as you need to, sometimes it'd be nice to rest, come into a Shavasana, which we worked with in last week's session, just relaxing on your back or on your side and keeping the connection to your dog. So rather than getting up and going to make coffee or going to make lunch or continuing on with your day, allow yourself the opportunity to just ground a little bit, keep the connection going with your pup, and then slowly transition back into your day. So thank you so much for being here with me with Wolf Driver. Also, I'm going to have all these videos available so that you can go through each of the practices at kimberlywilson.com/Doga. So feel free to find all the videos and more on Wolf Driver. Plus, if you want the videos of me and Mookie, kimberlywilson.com/Doga, D-O-G-A. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we will see you next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Namaste.